Fairness, accountability, and why Washington needs builders and not politicians. Episode 4. Welcome back. And this one is big because it ties everything we've talked about so far together. The addiction crisis, the affordability, the collapse of public safety, the squeeze on regular families, and the breakdown in trust. All of it circles back to one core issue. Doing the right thing has become the hardest thing. And the wrong thing, the shortcut, the corner-cutting path, has somehow became the easier, cheaper option. And you know what? We're not going to tackle this like politicians. A politician would talk in circles, they would dance around the blame, they would hold 10 meetings before tightening one bolt. I'm not here for that. I'm not a politician, I'm a builder. I've stood in the mud, problem solved on the fly, hit deadlines, fixed real structures, and dealt with real consequences. Builders don't write reports about broken beams, we fix the beams. So let's not handle Washington's problems like politicians. Let's tackle them like builders. Because a builder sees a cracked foundation and doesn't schedule a press conference. He grabs a level, he figures out where the weight is shifting, braces it, reinforces it, and makes the whole structure safe again. Washington's structure, our work culture, our public safety, our justice system, our treatment system, our small businesses. It all needs that builder mindset right now. Fairness is collapsing because accountability collapsed first. If you've ever worked in the trades, bid on a project, or run a small business, you know exactly what I'm about to say. You can do everything right, hire legally, carry insurance, pay taxes, train your workers, follow safety standards, and somehow you're still the expensive option. Meanwhile, someone who cuts every corner walks away with the job. It's a sick feeling, because you're punished for being honest and someone else is getting rewarded for cheating. That's not a business problem, that's a system problem. And that system problem stems from the bigger truth. We've removed consequences at almost every level of society. It's not just around job sites. Look around. Shoplifting goes unpunished, open drug use goes ignored, chronic offenders cycle through jail like it's a revolving door, businesses cut corners and undercut everyone else, and law enforcement, the very people we depend on to enforce the rules, are understaffed, undersupported, and sometimes unaccountable themselves because the oversight is broken too. Nobody knows who's in charge. Nobody knows what's enforceable. Nobody knows what consequences exist. And when accountability disappears, fairness disappears with it. Builders know this. If one guy on the crew refuses to do his job and faces no consequences, the whole job suffers. If a foreman looks the other way, the quality drops. If safety rules are only enforced sometimes, someone will get hurt. The structure requires consistency. A state requires consistency. Fairness requires consistency. Law enforcement is part of the structure too, and they need to be accountable and supported. Here's the honest truth nobody wants to say out loud. You cannot rebuild safety in Washington without law enforcement. You also cannot rebuild trust in Washington without law enforcement accountability. Both things are true. Both things matter. Both things are part of the same foundation. Right now, officers are burned out and understaffed. They're expected to be a crisis counselor, mental health specialist, and social workers, as well as addiction responders and peacekeepers, all while being criticized no matter what they do. And that leaves them hesitant, worn down, and mentally exhausted. But at the same time, when an officer crosses the line, uses excessive force, or abuses power, there has to be accountability. Not to punish the whole force, but to protect the integrity of the badge. Accountability isn't anti-police, it's pro-trust. It's what keeps the public believing the system works. A justice system with no consequences fails. A justice system with no oversight fails. We need both. That's what a builder's mindset understands. You fix every weak point, not just the convenient ones. The trades need fairness the same way communities need safety, and it all starts with the structure. Every issue we're seeing, homelessness, addiction, affordability, hiring, crime, all of it stems from the same missing ingredient: structure. People need structure, businesses need structure, law enforcement needs structure, the justice system needs structure, communities need structure, families need structure. Structure is not control. Structure is clarity. When structure is present, we know the rules. We know the consequences, people know what to expect, and people can breathe again. Builders know this. We frame walls straight because the rest of the house depends on them being straight. You don't eyeball a foundation, you laser it. You don't skip the braces, you reinforce them. Washington skipped too many braces, and we're feeling it now. So what does the builder's solution look like? Make doing the right thing easier, and doing the wrong thing harder. Make legal hiring straightforward, fast, and cost-efficient. Make illegal undercutting a losing strategy. Support law enforcement with staffing, training, and clarity, and hold them to a high standard so trust can return. Stop letting chronic offenders terrorize communities. Stop enabling addiction by pretending tents equal compassion. Reopen proper facilities where people can get stabilized, treated, and held accountable. Stop burying small businesses in regulations written for corporations 10 times their size. You can reward the trades, you can reward apprenticeships, and you can reward the honest pathway. And above all, make consequences predictable again. A builder fixes the environment so the people inside it can finally succeed, because fairness is not a luxury, it's a structural requirement. The entire state depends on fairness. Workers depend on it, businesses depend on it, communities depend on it, law enforcement depends on it, families depend on it, schools depend on it, and neighborhoods even depend on it. Fairness is what makes people want to try. It's what makes people believe in their effort again. It's what keeps the fabric of our community intact. Right now, that fabric is frayed. Episode 4 is about stitching it back together thread by thread by rebuilding the structure that fairness lives inside. Not through speeches, not through slogans, but through a builder's mindset. Fix the foundation, reinforce the beams, straighten the walls, and rebuild the structure that everybody is trying to live inside of. Fairness isn't going to come back on its own, but with accountability, structure support, and a builder's approach, it absolutely can. And that sets the stage for episode 5, where we talk about the culture behind all of this. How we rebuild the pride, the responsibility, the neighborliness that makes fairness possible in the first place.